Han Choi is a left-wing political prisoner in Australia. He's a political prisoner, Australian political prisoner like Julian Assange. He was arrested on December 16, 2017, accused of trying to help North Korea evade United Nations economic sanctions. He's an Australian citizen. He's been here 32 years now. He's 62 years old. And he was refused bail for nearly 3 years. And the reason he was refused bail, the main argument of the prosecution, was his political sympathy for North Korea. In other words, they were saying that because of his sympathy for a socialistic country, he should have less rights than others, including the right to bail. He was finally freed on bail on November 12 of 2020 after nearly 3 years in jail, but he's now under house arrest. He can basically only leave the house for his daily reporting to a police station and medical or legal reasons. And he faces trial on 1 February 2020. Everyone who is concerned with the rights of working class people, with social justice, should stand by Han Choi for several reasons. One, because the United Nations sanctions are cruel. Sanctions kill. In Iraq, the sanctions on people of Iraq killed approximately 1.7 million people, including 500,000 babies between 1990 and 1998. This is what UNICEF, a body under the United Nations, the organization implementing the sanctions, admitted itself. So the sanctions have caused terrible suffering. Secondly, they're completely unjust. It's not North Korea that bombed the people of Iraq and Afghanistan or destroyed Libya. They've not been involved in a war. This is clearly an attempt to subdue a country that stands up to the imperial powers and that does not have a capitalist system. So the sanctions are unfair, therefore the persecution of Choi is unfair. And secondly, his persecution has been based on McCarthyist Cold War reasons. Just because he sympathizes with a socialistic country, they're saying he should have less rights than others. And this McCarthyism threatens everyone because it's created a national security obsession that is targeting now everyone, whether you sympathize with a socialist country or not, all sorts of dissidents. It's notable that Witness K and Bernard Collaery were first raided in 2013, and they were raided because they exposed the Australian regime spying on East Timor. But they were not charged then because the Australian regime didn't feel they could get away with it. But now, as a Cold War McCarthyist atmosphere sweeps Australia with all these irrational fears of China, and after Han Choi was arrested and Malcolm Turnbull made hysterical denunciations of him, further inflaming the Cold War sentiment, it was only then in 2018 that the Attorney General felt he could get away with charging Witness K and Bernard Collaery. So the Cold War McCarthyist witch hunt, of which Han Choi is the most extreme victim, is creating a national security obsession and a repressive climate that is going to target all dissidents. And that's why it's in the interest of everyone who stands for social justice and the rights of working class people to stand by Han Choi and oppose his persecution. Thank you.